Welcome to the next part of my oil painting where I wanted to challenge myself and do it without a plan. I was doing my first oil painting, which was a Route 66 themed one, and I really enjoyed using the paints and learning how they blended and learning the texture of it. And I thought I wanted to try doing a painting where I do it with no plan at all. I wanted to see how that looks using the oil paints. Usually I do these ones with acrylic, but I wanted to try with oil, and it's been a lot of fun so far. So I started with just a few random lines and did some shapes from there. I'm probably about 80% done this painting. I'm doing a few extra details and doodles and designs within it. I want to make sure that each part of the painting has something interesting to look at. So I want to make sure it's filled in but not too busy. I let this painting dry for about a week and a half where I didn't do any painting on it at all. And this was nice because I could go in and do some details in white without it blending. I found it a little bit difficult on the first oil painting and the start of this one, where the colors take a long time to dry. And I'm still not fully used to this, but I'm trying to work with it and use it to blend colors and make cool textures and blending within it even days after. But for areas like the shapes where I want to add an eye on a dark color and places where I want to add white details, I find it's best just to let it fully dry. Sometimes you can go in and do white and then keep kind of layering it and blending it within. But for this one, I was working on a different painting anyways, so I let it dry and now I'm going through and adding the details in white. I wanted to do this mountain range and kind of have a lot of colors within it and make sure it's kind of a cool texture. So I have that there. I want to go through probably with a few different other colors and probably border it with black as well. But it's kind of a fun way to blend the paint within it and be a kind of a cool aspect to look at in the middle of the painting. When I took a step back at this painting, I realized some spots that needed a lot more detail. And the yellow part in the kind of top right of the painting, I wanted to add something, so I just added a little shape to it. Where there's little spaces, I'm adding shapes that kind of link to other aspects. And the whole plan behind this is add little faces or designs and use that to create more detail in those spaces. I didn't want to just do texture or other colors on top of it for the background. I'll do that in some parts, but I want to make sure that there's other fun doodles that kind of help bring the painting from part to part. And I wanted to do that instead of just textures where I would usually do it, just to give more detail that looks more kind of planned and just kind of cleaner to look at. So I like how it's looking now. I find with the oil paints, the colors really pop out nicely. So it's a fun one to do. I was thinking for a long time about what I want to do in this top part. And I thought there's a line going through the UFO, and I thought I would extend it and do kind of lightning looking lines and just give something more up there. I want to do something around the star as well, but we'll see what the space has. I decided it would be cool to add a ladder up to the star. And what's nice about this is I can add things in between and colors in the ladder to kind of make it stand out more. And it kind of sections off that part of the painting so I can do more with it, so it's not just a lot of red. So I'll come back to that later. I'm doing that little thing I talked about, adding a few shapes kind of close to other ones in white. And then once it dries, I'll add more details to the face. I wanted to do something in this red corner as well by the tree. So I'm just doing a kind of similar to the face in the middle of it. I'm doing little mountains as teeth and an eye. And I'll go back and do more detail once those parts dry as well. I want to do some color blending in this top part where I had some trees. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to add like a moon to the top of it. Thought it'd be kind of interesting just to have that, and instead of the classic sun in the top corner, I thought a moon would go well, and I can add some grays and texture it. And then I'm adding another shape in white, and I'll probably have to let it dry as well because I just went over that blue part to make the blue stand out more, but the white was blending a little bit in there. I'm gonna add balloons coming down from this hot air balloon part and just have cool little colors within it. And basically a lot of this part is just kind of laying the plan down for the extra doodles that I'm gonna have, or putting the colors in so I can put a color on top of it. Now I'm going to the moon and adding a bit of that color and texture with the gray. And I like how it's looking so far. I might use some gray later on in other parts, but for now I'm just going and putting in the detail anywhere that I can, where it won't blend, where I don't want it to. And kind of thinking forward as well about what other details I want. A lot of it, like I said, this is an unplanned painting, so sometimes I see how the paint dried and I'm doing a little doodle within it. I like doing these little houses or buildings that kind of look like factories and just using them to fill space instead of just random lines or arrows. Sometimes I do like them and it gives a way to add different color, but for now I'm just doing that. And yeah, I like the level of detail in it so far. I think it's interesting to look at, and like I mentioned before, I love the way the oil paints look. They're really bright and everything just pops out nicely. I like how they blend into the canvas and you don't see a lot of the canvas through the colors, so it's a lot of fun to work with. I'm adding some more color and texture into the mountains, and I really like how they're looking, and I think they look nice and natural with the main shape there. I think it's kind of cool how it's part of that face that's in the middle as well. And I'm adding some more lines in this area, just kind of shapes and aspects to split up this red part of the painting. I'm also doing that with this bottom right corner. And yeah, just kind of going in and seeing what needs an extra pop of color or an extra detail. So I'll probably wrap up this part right now and leave it at that. I'll probably post the next part in a few days, and I'm pretty sure that'll be the final part of this painting. I want to add a good amount of detail, but I don't want to make it too busy. I'm working on another painting right now that I want to make it as detailed as possible. So I want to leave this one looking pretty similar to how it is now. Thank you for watching, and I'll post the next one soon.